PFA Nation, you want as much agility to be like Messi. You want to be unstoppable, and you definitely don't want anybody to be able to figure out what you're doing. So how do you train for agility? Let's go. So let's start with the basics, right? What is agility? I get this question all the time. The reality is that agility is the ability to have speed, coordination, balance, reaction time, decision making, simply that whatever your mind thinks up, your body can do. What are some of the small benefits? Well, one, clearly improves performance, but it also decreases the risk of injury, and a massive side effect is that it builds confidence as you are more confident with what you can do because your body can actually accomplish it. All right, so let's go with some examples just to bring it on home. We're looking at training with ladders, cones, plyometrics, sports-specific training, strength training, balance, unilateral training. There's a reason that I'm rattling off, people, is you want to make sure that you know exactly what the area that you need to improve on so you know how to attack that specific area. Now, this is part of a 4-video series that I'm doing in order to how to train throughout the entire year, looking at winter for strength, spring for agility, summer for conditioning, and fall for sharpening up all that technical aspect of your games. So after you've spent winter getting as strong as possible, the reality is that the body has shifted. Now there are more and more substantial muscle structures in the body. And when the structure changes, the mechanics of how you move change. When I talk about structure and mechanics, it's very simple to understand the difference between a truck versus a motorcycle. One is quicker, zippier, and more agile, and the other one's a stronger base. So depending on your position, you should train specific to what you actually need. Now, does that mean that there aren't generalized training sessions? As long as they're sport specific, then I think that can still help you out. What should spring look like, right? Spring should look like all of the specific benefits that you would have. For example, a midfielder is going to shift and pivot within their position. Lateral movement for a lot of goalkeepers or center backs, a lot of speed if you play on the outside, or the ability to be able to take a touch and explode into that space. That is like your 9, that's center forward. So making sure that you train specific to what you need so that you can see the results that you want on the pitch. This might sound logical, but you wouldn't train like a goalkeeper if you were a right wing. So keep that in mind. Make sure that your agility training matches what you're looking to look like on the pitch. Now, there's not a lot of research out there for sports performance for youth. And if you argue with me, I would say research for me is not just all the facts and videos that are on YouTube, but are there peer-reviewed journals that talk about sports performance for athletes that are younger than 18 years old, maybe the 15, 12-year-old range? And the reality is that isn't a lot, but I do have some spectacular journals that I want to link in the description. So check those out. Read them up a little bit and see that there are benefits, but the research is limited. So now the research isn't there, and you're going to need to find the right person to be able to help you out. And you want somebody that not only understands the sport and sports performance, but also understands the developmental stages of youth and what's appropriate for that age in order to make sure that you're doing the right things and not just spinning your wheels on ice. PFA Nation, agility is that slippery aspect that everybody wants, but it's hard to get. And the reality is that it's not broken down by professionals well enough to understand how specifically you can get it. So instead you go out and you buy your ladders and your cones and you go out and you do stuff and hope to get better. But the reality is that it is far more systematic, and you've got to make sure that you are approaching it professionally or with a professional. It's tricky. Listen, be agile, not only on the field, but also in your heart and mind. Be open to the world. I love you all, but some of you are extra love. Peace.